it's Chantel with Wildberry Quilting, and today I have a really big fat quarter shop box. It's big enough that it does not have the pretty labeling on it that they normally do. So let's find out what's inside. And please excuse the crazy hair today. It has a mind of its own, and I just threw it up into a ponytail and figured out of sight, out of mind. Well, out of my sight, out of my mind. For you guys, it probably looks like it has its own zip code, but ooh, I actually forgot about the fabric part of this. Ooh. All right, so let's start small. I got this, and I don't know if you can tell what that is, but it is a pack of needles, and I think let's see, Edmar. Yep. They are Edmar tapestry needles, and they are for cross stitching. I like this little tube. That's cute. That'll come in handy to fit inside of the little box that I keep all my threads in. Speaking of threads, I got this pack, and I am not doing the cross stitch that this went with. In fact, I don't even know what cross stitch it goes to. It says Happy Fall on it, and it came with 5 packs of thread, and then it also came with a pack of floss bitties. These are actually a lot bigger than I expected them to be. The ones that I have already are maybe like half of this size, and what is that brand? I think it's the DMC brand is what I have already. And they are definitely a lot smaller than these guys. I don't think that these will fit regularly into my box, but they will fit into my project box that the thread box can sit inside of. So maybe I'll show that at the end. Next. Okay. Fabric. So let me pull these out and show you them and tell you what they're for. I got this really cool tarantula batik. I got this really cute tarantula batik, and I thought this would make a really cool backing to the ghost table topper that came in the spooky box. So when I do the sew along for that, keep an eye out, and this is what I will be backing that project with. And I also bought this, which I recently put together one of my sew samplers that had these flowers, and it was by Bev McCullough. I'm not sure what her name is, but this is more of her fabric, and it required this print but in green to go around the edges of it, and that was something that you had to purchase extra, and I got it in pink because I'm making it for a baby girl, so I thought it'd be really cute that way. And then this is going to be the backing of that quilt. Just very simple, and I thought it would look nice together. You can see it does. This one is not actually from the same line, but I thought it complemented it nicely. So that is for the backing of that. And that quilt's already, the quilt top's already completed. So, ooh, cross stitching things. Okay, so I got this little 6-inch Q-snap frame, and I thought this would be really helpful for the kids to be able to, that was loud. I thought this would be really helpful for the kids to be able to use the smaller frame, because a lot of the projects that they're doing are quite a bit smaller. And I thought, hey, give them something that's easier for them to hold on to and to work with. And I'm going to show you how this goes together. It all just kind of snaps together, and I like to put together one side and then the other, and then they fit together easier than trying to maneuver them together separate. When you have like a piece and then a piece and then a piece, then trying to fit in that fourth piece, just it does not click in as easily. You're kind of bending things in order to get it. So, and I also bought the 11-inch Q-snaps. So these happen to be on sale this month, and they are, I want to say it's 30% off, which makes them really reasonable. So having just gotten into cross stitching, I thought I'd go ahead and pick up a few different sizes. And this is the 17-inch. This is the biggest one, and I think this is the reason why this came in such a big box. Well, nope. This is part of the reason why it came in such a big box. There's one other item that definitely had something to do with that. This mounting board for the self-stick mounting board for the cross stitch stuff. And I did just get done with the cross stitch, the pumpkin spice farm cross stitch that I was working on. I will put that video out soon so you can see it. And this is so that I will be able to mount it and have it be pretty for us to enjoy. So next I got this Zweigart fabric, or Aida fabric, and I wanted to kind of test this out and see how it was, because the last fabric that I'd gotten, I got a couple of different ones, and I really liked the hand-dyed one. I thought that that was really nice to work with. And I'm just showing you like things out of order. And I know that the hand-dyed, this is one of the things I got, by the way. I know that this is supposed to be done on the Zweigart fabric. So I wanted to get the actual original Zweigart and kind of compare it. And I know that the hand-dyed one is a lot softer because they have to treat it and wash it and everything. So my idea is that I am going to serge the edges on this so it doesn't unravel. And then I'm gonna try and put it in the wash and see what happens before I embroider anything onto it, before I do any cross stitching. I'm just going to serge these edges and throw it in the wash. And I'm curious to see if it's going to tighten up the same way that the hand-dyed is and soften, because ideally that's what I really like. And I know that it's easier to work on when it's stiff. but I like it soft. I like to, I don't know, it's not as nice to touch, and it feels kind of not sharp on the edges, but just scratchy. And if I'm using the hoop, I figure it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be very stable. It can be soft, like the hand dyed. So that's what I'm planning to do. And for those who are curious, this color is, I think it was platinum, which I don't know why they named this platinum, because honestly, this looks like, I'm not sure what I would call this, but I would not call it platinum. I would call it maybe, it's not quite off-white. It's more like a, I don't know. It's not, I wouldn't call it platinum though, because to me, I think of platinum and I think of something that has a lot more gray to it. And this is not gray. This is more of a off-white, much lighter than burlap, but feed sack. I don't know. I don't know what I'd call that, but it's not platinum. And this one is called Morganite. This is the hand-dyed one. And it is, in person, this is a very, very soft, extremely soft pink. When it's all folded up together, you can kind of tell it has a pink hue to it. But then when you have it as a single layer, it's such a light pink that it almost looks white. And then I got one other one. And this one is Cream and Sugar. And it's also one of the hand-dyed ones. And all of these are by well, the Morganite and the Cream and Sugar are both by Fiber on a Whim. And this one is a little bit lighter. Maybe tea-dyed. Maybe that's what you would call that. This is a little bit darker than what the Cream and Sugar one is. You can kind of see the difference there. So Cream and Sugar is a little bit lighter than Platinum. And the Platinum color is a solid color, whereas the Cream and Sugar has kind of a marbling effect to it, but it's very light. So I don't think it'll interfere at all with what you decide to stitch on it. And the Morganite, if it has any kind of a marbling, I can't tell. It looks solid, even though it is a hand-dyed. So I would imagine there's probably marbling in there. It's just so thoroughly dyed that you can't see any marbling, or at least I can't. And one last item. This was on the deal of the day. And so of course it was very nicely discounted. And I thought this was adorable. I love the little kitty cats and the pumpkins and the bats. So I don't know that we will have time to do Spooky So Long for this one this year, but perhaps this will be a Spooky So Long for next year. Now, I don't know though that I plan to have Spooky So Long be only a month of October thing. I think we will continue it through other, maybe even the rest of the year and beyond, depending on how interested people are in it. But I won't be sewing Halloween things all year long. I'll have to pick different quilts and different projects to sew for the Spooky So Long. All right, well, that was everything that I got from Fat Quarter Shop. Thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed this, please remember to hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.